All right, everybody, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on here today. Just having a really bad time. Welcome to the show, TJ. I don't know what's going on with my internet, TJ. Welcome to the show. This has been 2025 UFL season recap. We're also going to recap UFL season as a whole. So I don't know if we're going to do together for a little bit. Wasn't so when I started the show. I was going to just start. I don't know if you can hear me. TJ, can you hear me?
I can, but you're breaking up really bad.
TJ?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yo, you got me?
Yeah. I think it's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, let's get into it. 2025 UFL Championship recap. This is Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. I'm David Huffman. Right there is my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. And TJ, describe the championship game in one word.
Asshole. That's one word. That's one word.
Yeah, it was an absolute thrashing at the hands of the DC Defenders as they beat down the Michigan Panthers. But this game could have been like the way things turned out. It could have been a much different ball game. Let's talk about it here today. Defenders beat down Michigan 58-34. Jordan Tiamo took that, not winning the regular season MVP, very personal as he went on to win the championship MVP. And I don't know for sure, but I think the Michigan Panther or the DC Defenders scored every time they had the football in that game when it mattered. Like they just every time they had the football when they were in the end zone. 58-34. You thought maybe they might turn off the offense at some point during this game. No, they didn't. They were like, yeah, we're just gonna keep scoring. But the crazy thing is, like, we'll talk about this a little bit after we get out the stat recap, but this game could have ended way different. Like, if the first quarter, if Jordan Tiamo has that pass picked off, that's a walk-in touchdown for Michigan, and they go up at least 12-0, and it doesn't work out that way. Jordan Tiamo, they get the ball back, they throw that touchdown on the very next play that gets called back on that penalty for a legal man downfield, and you think, okay, well, maybe this is not DC's day, but then they throw another touchdown on like the play after that. So yeah, I mean, DC won this game. We'll see what things could have been if Michigan had got that pick six, but there was no stopping the offense for the DC defenders on Sunday afternoon. And Jordan Tiamo, all season we kind of get on him about his efficiency. There's no doubt this guy was efficient in this game. 21 of 28, 390 yards, 4 touchdowns. They also had 4 rushing touchdowns in this game. Jaden Pickens, 6 for 131 had a touchdown. Ty Scott had a touchdown. Corlin Powell had a touchdown. Brylan Moore had a touchdown. The only one who didn't have a touchdown is probably their best offensive player, Chris Rowland. So yeah, it was a good day at the office for the DC defenders. On the other side, Bryce Perkins, they got off to that hot start. I mean, it looked like this team was going to be moving the football at will. And then, it kind of just got bogged down. They had a couple 3-and-outs there in the second quarter. And that's kind of all she wrote is DC put 31 points on the board in the second quarter. It doesn't help that there was a fumble on a kickoff where basically his own guy basically stripped him, which was just a really strange play. But Bryce Perkins, a pretty good day at the office for him, just not good enough to win the game. The reigning UFL MVP, which I was actually kind of shocked that he won the award. But yeah, Bryce Perkins, 21 of 35, 338 yards and a touchdown, 4 touchdowns and a pick. That pick was kind of in the third quarter when the game was already kind of not really in doubt. 6 of 62 and a touchdown for Nate McCray. And then Malik Turner had another good day at the office, 10 for 168 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a 71-yard touchdown that made it seem like Michigan was maybe going to get back into this game before the halftime. And then DC was like, no, this game, there's still another half of football here to play. We're going to try to get down the field. And they scored like an easiest touchdown I've ever seen with Ty Scott for 73 yards as they just continued running up the score. And as an absolute wire-to-wire ass whooping for the DC defenders.
Yeah, the game was over when they fumbled that kickoff, because you gave that offense the ball on your side of the field. They didn't have to do much to score, and it's one of those, like, what were you think? Like, if you're the Michigan Panthers, like that player, what were you thinking? Were you trying to like keep him upright? Like, like, what was that? What was
I'm
the
not
plan?
sure what the mindset is. Like if it was ever a time, if there was,
it couldn't have been to like take the ball from him and like you run like
no.
That couldn't have been the plan. That could have been what he was thinking.
I think because he got beat on the block, he was trying to recover. But even then, like, it doesn't make a whole lick of sense. And if there was ever a time for like the XFL to UFL to use one of those sideline reporters, ask that guy what he was doing.
What was that?
That's the one. That was the question everybody wants to know. Like, they're all like, what happened there? What was that play? And like, if there was ever, I'm sure they don't want to embarrass anybody, right? Like,
no, fuck that.
Because they don't really do that side. They don't really do that in the UFL. Like, they don't interview people to embarrass them. But like,
no, you did some embarrassing shit though. You did some embarrassing shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, like,
that's true. That's true.
You have to, hey, come to the forefront. What was that? What were you thinking? Hey, everybody that's watching wants to know what was that, because that's really what flipped the game on its head, and that's what got them down 3 scores. Like, that's when it's like, yeah, this shit over.
Because they had just scored. They just scored on it was like 23-13. They kick it off. No, that can't be right. I think the game was 15-13 at that point. And then they had the fumble, and then that made it 23-13. Because Jordan Tiamo ran that ball in at the 4th and goal from the 1 yard line. So yeah, it was just that DC had just scored to take the lead 15-13, and then you have that fumble, and then the game becomes 23-13, and then Michigan doesn't score again until like the final seconds of the quarter, when they got that 71-yard touchdown from Malik Turner, and then they don't score again until the 4th quarter when this game was way out of reach and over.
Yeah, and their DC's on the sideline chanting MVP around Jordan Tiamo, and it's like I respect that, but at the same time, Jordan Tiamo, it's your fault. You're the one that left it up in the air. You're the one that left, so you can feel some type of way about Bryce Perkins winning MVP. Maybe don't have a completion percentage of 54%. And thinking, oh, just because I have the most yards in the league, that's good enough. It's not like
he didn't have the most yards in the league, actually.
Luis
Perez actually passed him on the final day.
But now you know that, hey, efficiency matters. It plays a role. So on the Michigan side, it's man, I don't even know where you go. Obviously, there's no tomorrow. You gotta wait till next season to try to get your get back, because this hurts. This sucks. This.
I mean, you go into the game thinking you have one of the better defenses in the NFL, and your defense just didn't show up for any part of this game. And I also think it would have been really interesting, if their defensive player had picked that, because it was a walk-in pick six. Yeah. If he catches that football, it was a walk-in pick six. He catches that pick, how the game could have changed in the favor of Michigan.
It was a number of plays like that. There was a fumble that there was a fumble
went out of bounds. Chris Rowland.
So it's
and then the guy, and then there was he wasn't able to recover. It was toe tap stuff, real close.
Yeah. It was a number of stuff. It was that's crazy. It's little shit like that. It's dead ass. It's little shit like that literally changes the outlook of a game. And that's. You hate to chuck it up to the game, but that's all you can do, bro. It's crazy. I'm here I am thinking, based off how the game started, hey, it's gonna be a motherfucking shootout. We in for a treat. This is what this what the league needed, bro. This gonna get some eyes on the game. And nah, bro, ass up. I'm because they scored, and I'm bro, have we ever had a team score 50 in the league? Was this the first time a team has scored 50?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I mean, they were basically moving the football at will. Big shout out, big congratulations to the DC defenders. I'm not kidding when I say I don't think they punt. They for sure didn't punt the football away, but I think they may have scored every time they had it.
And Jordan Tiamo, he ain't he ain't fumbled the ball, he ain't turned the ball over. That was a big problem for him early, somewhat this season, outside of the efficiency problems. It was it was I ain't gonna say it was sobering. It was sobering for Michigan, because you riding this wave and you and then you just get manhandled like that.
Not to mention, I wonder if there's something that went into it where they already feel like they won their Super Bowl when they beat Birmingham, and so they kind of came into this game thinking oh, we're already kind of having an advantage because we beat the best team in the league, and the team that's been the class of the league, and then you just get
you get dog walk. Yeah, but we see that all the time though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why sports like like I don't know why that's a thing in team sports. It's like, hey, we beat. So you kind of saw it with like the oh man, just like you kind of saw like with the Knicks, right? Like when they beat Boston, it was like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we beat Boston. Like you
But I mean,
should.
when you finally get off the bugaboo, right? Like if you're Michigan, you finally beat Birmingham. You lost 8 in a row to them,
Ain't no
and then
road.
you finally you finally get a victory over Birmingham to move into this championship game. And you think that you're in a good spot. I mean, you're flying high, and then the DC Defenders were like, yeah, we're better than you.
But
Period.
it's also, but at the same time, like DC also got a monkey off their back because how many good teams have they had? And how many times have they fallen short?
yeah.
Right. So
Well, I mean, just one. I mean, their team last year wasn't all that good, but 2 years ago, they had the first season of the XFL. They had the best team in the league by far, and they didn't even make it into the championship game.
they make it to the championship game, which also kind of makes the following season
or maybe they did make it to the championship game, and they just got beat down by the Arlington Renegades. I don't remember exactly who Arlington beat in that championship game. It may have been DC.
And then which makes that the following season that much more disappointing.
That was an absolute beatdown too. Like all of the championship games that we've seen in the UFL/XFL have been just absolute smashings. Like none of them have been competitive. Like,
and now it's hey, we'll back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Let's go going into game balls for the championship game. TJ, who's getting your Prime Sports World game ball for the UFL championship?
How can you ignore Jordan Tiambu? Like he kind of, but it's also what pisses me off about him. It's like, dude, you know you can be efficient. It shouldn't take you feeling like you got snubbed for you to come out and go 22 of 26, 300 some yards, and 4 touchdowns, or however many touchdowns you threw. Shouldn't take that. But you get the game ball. I also wouldn't hate it if the receiver from Michigan got a game ball because he was killing too. Like he was
Malik Turner.
Yeah, he was balling.
Malik Turner.
Like,
he did benefit by like one of the just terrible tackling in general in the UFL at times, but yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna give my game ball to Shannon Harris, the head coach of the DC Defenders, or former head coach of the DC Defenders, as he is now going to be the head coach of Tennessee State University, I think.
Wow.
No, hold on.
No, you're right. Tennessee State, that's where.
No, I lied. No, he's just. No. I read the article wrong. My bad. Shannon Harris gets my game ball, but be thrown in, because Reggie Barlow left right before the season. You become the interim head coach, and for you to coach this team to a championship, and hopefully by now they've taken that interim title off of you. You deserve to have that job and be the head coach of this football team and coach them in this game, for sure.
Yeah. If he's not, if that interim tag isn't off him, I don't know what the fuck they wait on.
What would it take? I don't
know. Right.
Yeah. Let's talk about the season as a whole. Let's talk about what we liked, areas of improvement, and we're looking forward to the future of the UFL. As we have the second edition of this. Let's talk about what we liked in the UFL before we get to areas of improvement, or we can do kind of like a compliment sandwich. We can do one thing we didn't like, one thing we did like. Let's just what we like in 2025, TJ.
What did we like in 2025?
I thought the level of competition this season, as opposed to what we saw last season, was better. I think, like especially down the stretch, I just felt like we had really good matchups like throughout the season, and I think the level of play was a little bit. I think it improved as the season went on. As players got more familiar with the other players on their roster, and as quarterbacks at certain teams kind of rose up through the ranks and kind of stabilize those positions. Most notably, the Houston Roughnecks with Jalen McClendon, because they were just an absolute dumpster fire before he kind of stepped into that starting quarterback role. But I think the quality of play, I like the UFL. I watch it every week. I think it's I would still say that they should start this league the week after the Super Bowl. But with that being said, I think the league is fun. I think they should add another team or two, just to kind of. At some point, we're going to get tired of seeing the same matchups every year for the rest of the time, and I'm sure that's how the NFL started too back in the day. But like, I would like to see like they still play 10 games, but like maybe there's somebody on your schedule you don't play every season, and so like when you do finally play that team, it becomes kind of an attraction.
Because like you play the same. It's only what 8 teams. You play each team twice.
Yeah. No, you play everyone in your division twice, and then you play
Twice.
everyone in the other division once.
Once. I think one thing I did like. I think the individual play was was better because like now you got players who they know what it is, they know what to expect, so on and so forth. Like we saying, Jaden McClendon stepping up and what's like super unexpected because we didn't see him coming. Houston started off with 2 quarterbacks literally on the same drive. You didn't know who was going to be taking the snap, and then you got a dude like and then you got to do like Malik Turner, who should be in somebody's training camp, like if they're paying attention like they say they are.
He played 5 seasons in the NFL already.
Like should get back into somebody's training camp. Like I think to your point about starting it after the Super Bowl. I see where you're going with that. I really do. I think it's fine how it is.
I just think I don't mind how it is. Like it doesn't bother me, but I just think that the people wanting to watch football is as high as it's going to be right after the Super Bowl. And so if like you have an opportunity to like be like, hey, like you may have enjoyed the Super Bowl and you're sad that the NFL season is over, but we're starting right now. It doesn't have to be the week after. I mean, like for them waiting 2 months, it feels too long.
I get what you're saying. I think, and I also get what you're saying with the scheduling. I think that's gonna come when you expand, like when you add more teams. I think like that has to happen. That has to be a discussion. That has to happen. We might as well get into areas of improvement. More teams, especially when you got teams like Houston and Memphis that ever since they've been in the league, it's been nothing but struggle. And it's been ugly and it's been disgusting. And it's like, why are they on TV when you got a team like Seattle who had a viable product on the field and was competitive and had a good stadium atmosphere.
And they had a good stadium too. I mean, they play where Seattle did. I mean, that's a top flight stadium. I mean,
so it's like, so that has to they got to come back. Looking at other cities, of course. ESPN, I'm on your hype train. ESPN, fucking do better. Like the fact that you highlight the game on the app or on ESPN.com, but you don't show stats, you don't show standings, you show nothing. You barely show highlights. Do better. This is the first. Like last year, I gave y'all a pass because it's new, and all that other good stuff. This year, no excuses. All the kinks should have been worked out. Y'all should literally have a department or a team literally set for, hey, UFLC. You do sideline interviews during the game.
Yeah.
During the game, but you can't have someone
Put stats on the website.
Put
Like,
stats on the website.
like
Put
something
stats on that. Put stats on the app. Like you gotta be kidding me.
I will say though the UFL's official website is stupid nice. Like it is really well. It is a really nice website. Like it's
And
almost
even that,
nicer than the way
and even
ESPN
that,
does for like the NFL. Like the website for the UFL website is really nice. Like it's so good.
and even that could be better. Let's be honest. But it's so there's always room for improvement, and I also like the fact that
And speaking, I mean,
no, go ahead, go
speaking
ahead.
of room for improvement, let's talk about the quarterback play still, because I think when you look at the teams that were successful this season, they had consistent quarterback play. Like outside of St. Louis, who kind of Max Dugan kind of stabilized that, but they were really ran by their defense being so strong last season. But like Birmingham, Jamar Smith stepped up. Michigan obviously had Bryce Perkins. DC had Jordan Tiamu. Arlington had Luis Perez. They just had a couple bad breaks here and there. But Houston, San Antonio, and Memphis, outside of Jalen McClendon stepping up towards the end of the season, like we need better quarterback play across the board in the UFL still. Like it's just not consistent enough for my liking. And I don't know if that's because I don't know if like what the practice regimen is or how much time they actually get to practice during the week. But we just don't see improvement in quarterbacks. Like you're either a polished finished product or you're not. And like Kellen Mond, who was really good in college, didn't play well at all in this league his first season here. I'm not even sure who was even starting for the Memphis Showboats, but like the quarterback play in general, I still think needs to be better than it currently is in the UFL. And having a reliable quarterback is the difference in the UFL between being a successful franchise and being an absolute dumpster fire like we saw in San Antonio. My Brahmas and the Showboats. I just think that position needs to be improved, and maybe it will be in the future. Like as more really good college football players flame out in the NFL, and maybe they go to the UFL as an alternative. But we just haven't seen that yet. I kind of thought we'd see that by now, and we just haven't.
No, not
like
not
I figured we would see. I thought we'd see like a bigger college name, like because Kellen Mond, whatever you think about him, was a big name in college, and he didn't work out in the NFL. Like that quote that TJ always quotes about Kellen Mond. I see him in practice.
I see him. It was like I see him every day. It's like damn. It's like damn.
Was it Mike Zimmer? Was that?
Yeah, it was Mike Zimmer.
I just think that the product at quarterback position needs to be improved, and it's pretty obvious if you have a consistent quarterback play, you're going to be successful in the UFL, and if you don't, the latter is going to be the case. I didn't mean to cut you off, so go if you want to continue your point.
No, you good. Like I think the one thing I did like was it wasn't even like play related, but it was them reaching a CBA agreement before the season even started.
Yeah.
So it's like the players wanted more benefits, more this, more that, and it wasn't even like it was a discussion. Like they just said, "Hey, y'all want this? Here, y'all can have it." Hey, I like that. It's, take care. Hey, like take care of these dudes. Like it's still it may not be the NFL, but it's still football, and shit can go south in a heartbeat. So shout out to the Rock and TKO for taking care of these dudes.
I also something else I didn't like. I don't necessarily like is the reliance on the St. Louis market. Like I think like once like. Because I think, especially when it comes to the championship game, so like I know the NFL has the moving championship game, which makes sense for the National Football League. But I just like relying on St. Louis to be the market that carries this product. I just don't think is a viable plan, like moving forward. Especially if the Battlehawks don't make the playoffs, don't make the championship game. I mean, you had Michigan in this game; they play at Ford Field. I think if you had played this game in Michigan, I think the the attendance numbers would have been a lot better, like with one of the home teams. I think because you played this Super Bowl, this championship game in the summer, so all of these, especially since most of these are warm weather cities anyways,
Mm-hmm.
I think that you'll have a better fan turnout if you don't rely as much on St. Louis, that market, and allow the UFL championship game to be played at whoever earns home field advantage. Or you flip a coin and be like, okay, well, so we're going to play it here, or switch off one season after another. One season is
Yeah,
going to be in the
rotate it.
UFL's building, the other season is going to be in the XFL's building. Yeah, I just don't think the league can continue to lean on St. Louis the way that they do, and expect that they are going to like that market is going to carry this
Mm-hmm.
product. I just don't think that's viable long term.
Because it also like not only do they host a championship game, they host the conference championship game. Like they St. Louis hosts.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis had home field advantage, so that just happened to be just a coincidence. I don't
That's
think that was the plan. I think it just worked out that way.
I think they should. I think they should rotate it. I mean, like you got 8 teams. Like literally, just hey, this year it's here, this year it's here, this year, and just go from there. So
And you
it's
don't have the level of concern in the NFL because like they play their championship game in February. Like half of the cities in the NFL, you just can't play a championship game in February in their building. Like it's probably gonna be snowing or whatever else is going on with their weather. But the UFL, because you play this in June, and almost like half of your teams are in Texas, like the weather is irrelevant.
right unless it's a severe thunderstorm or like lightning or tornadoes.
Yeah,
Right, you should be fine. Everything should be fine and dandy.
yeah.
What's something you looking forward to?
Man, I just like to continue the growth of this league, man. I have really enjoyed this product. I really enjoy spring football, and like I kind of annoy a lot of people at my office. Like I constantly talk about the UFL. They're like, "We don't care." I'm like, "I know." I just love the UFL. I think it's refreshing. It's like I like you see leagues start from the bottom and like see them continue to rise through the ranks. I think this is a product that's here to stay, and like I'm just excited to continue seeing the growth and develop of like. And I love seeing like those spring football stalemates, like you have like the guys that are there every season, like Luis Perez, Jordan Tiamu, like those guys are just like they're legends of the spring football circuit, and I just love seeing them continue to play football. And yeah, I think this like expansion is something I'm looking forward to eventually. I don't think it's going to happen next season, but
I think the one thing I'm looking forward to is what you said. That one college name, that one college dude, that one college quarterback. Well, it ain't even got to be a quarterback. It could be a receiver, running back, DN, DB, whatever. You just got to have a name to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go here first. I'm gonna go here first and see what happens. To think that will happen in like year 2, nah, I ain't gonna, nah, that's not gonna happen. Because all those dudes they gonna try to go to the NFL, right? They gonna try that first, obviously, right? That's what you've been working for. But at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself, like again, like Max Dugan, we talked about it. This is a dude who took TCU to the national championship game, right? Got his ass kicked, but he went there. Was a day 3 draft dude. Got drafted by the Chargers. I'm not finna play on the Chargers. I'm not. What playing time am I really gonna get in the NFL if I'm Max Dugan? Or I can go to this league right here and definitely find a way to get onto the field. So I think like that needs to happen.
another thing that I'm really super looking forward to, like the cream of the creme of the UFL getting an opportunity to play in the NFL. Like seeing these guys that like were really good. Like I imagine Rod, the kicker
Rodrigo
for the
Blankenship.
Battlehawks. His name is escaping me right now. Yeah, I imagine he'll be back in the NFL. He was awesome in this season. And then the kid from from Warsaw, which is in Northeast Indiana, Harrison Mevis, who was the kicker for Birmingham, who only missed one kick all season. Like, I think he'll be on it, eventually get a call like to a training camp in the NFL. And I think, Chris Rowland, another guy who's like a really standout wide receiver in the UFL. Was it so is it Mariner, the wide receiver for Michigan, who led the league in receiving yards this most recent season. That guy will probably get at least an invite. So I'm looking forward to seeing. That's another thing. Like the guys who were like the standout performers of the UFL getting an opportunity in the NFL, because that's really what like a lot of the league. Like, you join this league in order to be showcased and have an opportunity to actually put your talent on tape and not just sit behind a bunch of players and get the opportunity to be back in the NFL.
Yes, I also just want I have to ask like what does it take? Like what does it take? Like so you gotta do like Hakeem Butler who was in the NFL, it didn't pan out, goes to the UFL and has a monster season and he still doesn't get a call. Malik Turner spent 5 years in the league, is in the UFL, doesn't get a call. All right. It took Jake Bates booming 50 plus yards consistently before for them to be like, all right, let's bring this dude in and see what he can do. Right?
But I think the kicking position is the one. Like, I think we talked about this before. I think the kicking position translates it's just a straight up 1-to-1 translation from the NFL to the UFL. Like if you could kick field goals in the UFL, you could kick field goals in the NFL. Like the parameters it doesn't really change. Like if you kick 50-yard field goals in any league, you can kick them in the NFL, and that's probably why kickers, like especially Jake freaking Bates, has had the success that he's had and the ability to get into the NFL. And I think that'll happen for Harrison Mevis. I think Rodrigo Blankenship will get back into the NFL as well. But yeah, I just look forward to seeing these guys that we watched on spring football get the opportunity to play in the NFL, based on the fact that this league is a thing. Because most of these players, you flame out in the NFL or you go undrafted. At that point, you're like, well, I guess my NFL career is over. I'm gonna go, because the kid Jamar Smith, the quarterback for Birmingham. So 2 years ago, I think he was working like at a grocery store or something like that, and then he gets the call from the UFL to back up Adrian Martinez, and then he ends up becoming the sort of quarterback of that team when Adrian Martinez goes to the NFL this most recent season. So I just love seeing those stories and giving people an opportunity to continue to live their dream, and that's really what the UFL is all about.
I also want to see more games, like not like so like all right, go from a 10-game schedule to like a 12, like add 2 games, go to 12, like just to see what happens. But I also think that's one of those things that'll happen when an expansion comes. So
yeah,
I think they're gonna add to. I think in the next year, maybe 2, they add 2 more teams, so they go from 8 teams to 10 teams. And when they do that, that's when they add the 2 extra games.
But yeah, that's been our thoughts on the UFL 2025 season. Hopefully you guys have been riding with us all year round as we try to be the #1 hub for all things UFL. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. This has been our UFL championship recap and our season recap. And before we get up out of here, I just wanted to provide a little bit of a life update on myself here at Prime Sports World. As many of you know, if you watch our show fairly regularly, I am a television news producer here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. At least I will be for the next month. I have accepted a new position as an executive producer in San Francisco, California. This will be my last show for a little while I figure out my life. I don't know when I'll be back or if I can even come back. But I just wanted to let you guys all know what's going on in my life. And I have loved being here at Prime Sports World and hosting shows and just doing stuff with TJ and Izzy and Matt James and Christian. It's been the most fun I've had in a long time. Like over the 10 years we've been doing this. So I just wanted to provide you guys that update. I'll still be behind the scenes, in the group chat and stuff, but like I don't know what my on-air presence will be moving forward as I make this transition from Indiana to California.
Executive producer, I mean drinks on you, man. I mean everything's on you.
I don't know about all that, but But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that announcement. But yeah, I'm excited but nervous about the transition. I've only been to California on a vacation, so living there, I think it's going to be a totally different ballgame.
Just don't grow your hair out. Get the whole man bun look. Don't do that.
Oh, come on, man. Let's go. If I got to do California, I got to do it all.
I will so disown you as a friend if you come back here with a man bun. I'm just throwing it out there.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us here at Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast as we keep rolling here with the content here at Prime Sports World. Y'all take safe and take it easy. And I'm David Huppman. Right there is my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. TJ, what we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, and it can go away for it can go away. All right, man.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you guys all later. Take it easy. Peace out.